Hey everyone, how's it going today? And welcome back to another update. So the big thing is that in today's update, I want to talk about something that I don't think a lot of people are talking about right now. And it's really about this idea called the universal basic income. The very fast answer to what this is that it's essentially a program that many states are currently trying to do. Some states have kind of had it going on for a while now. It's going to make a little bit more sense at the end. But there are a lot of states that actually recently just started to do this program this year. So specifically, if you're watching this in 2022, where they're going to be essentially creating a program to create a universal basic income system, as the name suggests, to send out monthly payments to select residents within their own individual states who are either from a low income or even in many more extreme cases, a no income background because they happen to be unemployed. So the good news is that in today's update, I just want to talk about certain states that are now currently doing it, because I don't think, again, a lot of people are talking about everything that we talk about in today's update. I will admit is a very niche program. However, with that being said, it's expected to go out to a demographic of around a couple 100,000 people. So maybe it's very probable that some of this can hopefully help as many people that are watching this. And I think it's even more important to specify is that everything that we talk about in today's update is an approved program, which is the really great news, because it means that it's at least something that is already happening and not just something that is speculated to happen, but it's already there. So if it applies to you, you can potentially apply for it, maybe even by the end of today. So we're gonna get started, but as always, real fast, before we begin, consider smashing the like button because it's always greatly appreciated, and at least we are talking about something that's approved. Again, promise we'll talk all about, you know, how this everything works. And as always, consider subscribing and hitting the bell as we hopefully get more information. Also about other states that might potentially be doing it, because this is happening in a lot of places, which is a very good thing. So we're only gonna cover a couple of the states now, and hopefully even more to come. And as always, feel free to comment, of course, any questions, personal thoughts. It's always great to say hi to new and familiar faces. And with that being said, let's get this video started. So we're going to run through this state by state. As always, we hope to get to as many, but if I don't get to your state, I think it is still relatively insightful, because hopefully we can know that other Americans are also getting some level of relief, and hopefully it also, most of all, just shows what's actually possible out there to hopefully maybe come to your state as well. So the first state that we're really going to talk about is going to be in the state of the beautiful state of Alaska. So Alaska, interestingly, is doing a program. They've actually technically already been doing this program for a little bit of time, but it's just starting to get popular, where they're doing a program called the Alaska Permanent Fund. And what this is, that this is supposed to be something that's going to go out to over 600,000 people. So this is very big. This is not like a small, 100 people town. This is a lot of people, enough to put a city together, essentially, more or less. And what they're hoping to do is essentially to send out monthly payments of between $1.1 thousand, so $1,100, and $1,600, depending on what you specifically qualify for. Now, this is a program, I will admit, that you have to apply for it. I would just Google up Alaska Permanent Fund. So like Alaska, like the state, permanent, which is the opposite of temporary, and then fund, like FUND, and hopefully to be able to get more information about how this specifically works. Now, the next state that we're really going to talk about is going to be in the state of Arizona, but actually specifically in the city of Phoenix. So this is something, admittedly, that is a city program, and what they're currently doing is, this one's a very niche one, I will admit, and it is actually a program that's in its very early stages. So how early? We are talking about this year, like literally 2022. And the idea is that over there's a program that you can potentially apply for right now that currently, I believe, is that they're on a roster and they're doing it for about 1,000 people. So I know it's a very limited number, but they're hoping that if it goes well, to maybe expand it to even more people, where those select individuals will be receiving about a $1,000 monthly stimulus check going on over the next 1 year. So that is a lot of money. The best place really to find information would probably be to just Google up Phoenix or just Arizona and then universal basic income. The next state that we are going to talk about is going to be in Alabama, specifically Birmingham, Alabama, who is interestingly also going to be trying to do a stimulus check program of specifically $375 monthly. This is also a program in its early stages, so something that just started in 2022. But I will admit that this one is truly in like a pilot stage where it's going specifically to 100 single mothers. So it is a very niche group. You know, I know it's not like something very, very big per se, but it is something that hopefully will help out. And interestingly, there is another state that I guess is doing the brother version of this, or the father version of this, depending on how you see it. But they're now doing actually $500 monthly stimulus checks to about 100 single fathers. This specifically is going to be happening in the state or city of Columbia, South Carolina. This program is also in its early stages, so it is something that's relatively early, which might actually be a very, very good thing in a way. So the recap really is Birmingham, Alabama, 375 monthly to 100 single mothers, and then the brother version of that, or the father version of that, Columbia, South Carolina, $500 monthly checks, but now to 100 single fathers, also in its early stage. Now, the next program that we're going to talk about is actually relatively a bigger place, which is really cool, which is going to be in Chicago. Now, Chicago is now doing a program specifically approved also in 2022, where they're going to be doing $500 monthly stimulus checks to select residents. I will admit that this is going to be happening in obviously one of the most populated cities in the world, so that is the really, really great news. However, they are doing something where you do have to apply for this. There are actually very strict requirements to get onto this, so I will give a little bit of a heads up. It will still be applying to about 1,000 people, so it's definitely something to look into. And I believe, again, they're doing $500 as a monthly stimulus check. This program is actually relatively interesting because the way that they actually are going to be funding this program is that they're going to be taking a lot of money that was from the third stimulus package. So it's exactly according to plan, like how we've been, talking about in the last couple of videos. They're going to be taking a lot of the money from the third stimulus package that they received as, part of the state and local government aid, and now turning it and using that money as a form of creating this stimulus check universal basic income program. And through this program, that's what they're going to be using to hopefully help to give as many people in Chicago as possible. But as always, as mentioned, is that because it is very niche, I will recommend maybe the best place to find information is just to Google up Chicago and then universal basic income, and it should hopefully potentially just pop up one of the top links of where you can find more information about it, how to potentially look into applying, and pretty much everything that you really need to know about it. And then the next state that we're going to talk about is going to involve taking a trip all the way now down south to Durham, North Carolina, where they are going to be doing a $500 monthly stimulus check, but specifically to select incarcerated people. So again, this one is definitely something that's very, very niche. If you know someone that has gone to prison, that was incarcerated, and that lives in the town of Durham, North Carolina, they are going to potentially be getting a stimulus check. And I think this one is truly meant to kind of help out a very specific demographic of people to maybe restart and build back their life. So it really is a genuine, particularly people of particular need to really be able to send relief to them. And then the next state that we're going to talk about is going to involve taking another trip even more further down south now, but to the beautiful state of Georgia. And what's actually amazing about this is that because in the state of Georgia, they're actually now doing not one, but rather two programs now of trying to do some kind of stimulus amount of money / universal basic income. So in the state of Georgia, there are two programs that they're currently doing. One is called the Georgia Resilience and Opportunity Fund. So Georgia Resilience, like if you're resilient, and opportunity, so like chasing good opportunity, fund, so like money. And Both of these programs in Georgia just started in 2022, so that's the really great news. It's still a really good time. And the idea is that the first program, called the Georgia Resilience and Opportunity Fund, they're hoping to give specifically to 650 black women, so it's a very specific niche, program again, about $850 monthly, but interestingly for 2 years. So this is actually one of the longer programs actually of monthly stimulus checks. And then the second program is going to be the Impact program. So this is a very short name, literally Impact, IMPACT. Impact program. This one is going to 300 residents, where they're going to now be sending out $500 monthly stimulus checks. However, this one's a little bit shorter, and they're doing it over for pretty much about a year. So it's going to be a year-long monthly checks. But between both of these programs, essentially there's going to be about 1,000 people that will be getting some kind of relief. The only thing to note about this is that the first program, the Georgia Resilience Fund, that's actually a program that they opened up the applications earlier this year, and they actually had a very brief window where I believe they only had it open for about 2 weeks, and they actually just recently closed the applications again. The hope is, though, even though they've obviously closed out the applications for this, that because it at least exists, if it goes well, or if they find out that maybe they have enough money to continue the program, the hope is maybe they can reopen up applications again to now open up this program so that more people can potentially get onto this. Exactly like what happened for a lot of the other more lower key programs like the EIDL EIDL grant, unemployment, state-specific back-to-work bonus, all of these kinds of programs. Many of them, they were available, they closed up, and then thankfully they opened back up again so that more people were now able to get onto it. But beyond this is that that's pretty much what I really just wanted to share in today's update. So hopefully if you guys found something relatively insightful and haven't done so, maybe consider smashing the like button, consider subscribing as we get more information. There are a lot of other states that are doing this. It's just really for timing related reasons. We're probably going to wait till another video to share even more states. So definitely, consider subscribing if you guys are interested. Of course, you guys can always decide because, we genuinely do hope that people are interested in a lot of this if they really want to find more info. And as always, feel free to comment any questions, personal thoughts about honestly just really anything, and hopefully it comes to as many more states as possible. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay safe, stay well, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much again. Oh, the camera's so much farther now.